Hello guys, welcome to the course of Core Java. I am your host and mentor Arghadip Datta. So today we will go through lesson number 3, and in today's session we will see what are the data types that are supported in Java and how we can declare a variable in Java, and also what is array. So starting with the first action item for today, we will see what are the data types in Java. If you do a simple Google search, you will get the theoretical part. So we will quickly go through it. So basically in Java, data types are divided into two categories. One is primitive data type and another is non-primitive data type. So all your basic data types like integer, character, byte, float, double, those fall under primitive data type. And non-primitive means like, let's say, arrays, and then classes, and basically those which are actually a combination of this primitive data type. Okay, so as we go, I mean as we progress in our course, we'll get to see a better practical example of these data types. So for today's lesson, we will limit it to primitive data types, and for non-primitive, we will see what are arrays. Okay. So starting with primitive data types, Java supports 8 type of primitive data type. Those are Boolean, character, byte, short, int, long, float, and double. So first, we'll see what Boolean is. So Boolean means it supports only two types of value, that is 0 or 1. In Java, those are represented as true or false. Okay, so next is byte. So byte is a number data type. Okay, that means you can represent a number using this data type. Byte is the smallest number data type that exists in Java. So this is useful whenever you want to program a code which needs to have a very less means which has a restriction of less space. At that time you can use this byte data type. Okay, next we have short data type. Short is the, you can say, the least used data type, because the reason is that as we have byte, so byte is the smallest, so whenever you want to save some space you can use byte. And then the most commonly used is the next data type, that is integer. So short falls in between byte and integer, so that is the reason why short is the least used data type. Okay, so next we have the most commonly used data type, that is integer. So this has a 32-bit size. So because of this 32-bit size, it fits most of the requirement in our coding practices. Okay, so next we have long data type. So whenever we need to represent a number that is very big, at that time we can use long data type. Okay, those are the number data type. Next we will see decimal type. Okay, so for decimal we have two types. One is float, then another is double data type. Okay, so for float is a 32-bit data 32-bit floating point. And the basic difference between float and double is that float will occupy less space being 32-bit, and double will occupy more space being 64-bit. Now the practical uses is that whenever you want to write a code which does not require that much precision, and but it requires faster processing, at that time you can use float. And whenever you need better precision and do not have to worry about space, at that time you can use double data type. Now coming to the last primitive data type, we have character. Character means that you want to represent means you want a variable to have a value of alphabet, you want to have a value of special character. At that time you can use character data type. Okay, so all these data types we can understand better as we see our next action item, that is declaring a variable. Okay, so for this purpose we need to head over to Eclipse. So I have created a project named lesson number 3, lesson 03. And as we have shown in our last session, how you can create a project in Eclipse, how you can write your first line of code. So if you are not aware of that, please go back to that course and you can understand how to create a package and how to create a class in Java. So right now I have created two classes. One is data type demo and one is array demo. So for our second action point, that is how to declare a variable, we will see this data type demo. Okay, we'll write our code in data type demo. Okay, so starting with how to declare a variable. As we have already discussed, what are the data types that are in Java. So let's say you want to declare a byte type variable. In that case, you simply need to write byte b equals to, let's suppose, 1. Okay, what this means is this b variable. So variable means it is a name which will represent a data type and have a value. Okay, that's what variable is basically. So here b variable is of data type byte and will have the value of 1. So this is how in Java you can declare a variable of byte data type. Similarly, this uh, o- similarly this syntax will be followed for every other data type. Okay, let's suppose you want to uh, create one short variable, then you can write as short. Then you want to create int, then you can write int I equals to 10, let's say. Then for long you can just simply create long L equals to, let's say, 100. So these are the number data type. Okay, coming to the next, let's say you want a decimal pointer, then you can write float f equal to 2.35. Okay, when you write a when you assign a float variable, you can notice that there is a cross sign, there is an error. So why is this? If you simply hover over this, you get to see that is written type mismatch, cannot convert from double to float. So why this is happening? So understand this, that in Java, whatever decimal point number you declare you want to store, those are by default treated as double. So to convert it into a float data type, you simply need to write f at the end. Okay, so if you write like this, then this 2.35 will be treated as a float and assigned to this variable f. So now another way of doing this is simply typecasting it like this. So casting is another topic, like uh, just to give you a basic idea, casting means, so you have a two different data type. The process of casting one data type into another, so the value of one data type into another data type, converting this in between, this is called casting. Okay, so that's what we are using here. So if we write float in front of this like this, then it will, what it will do is simply cast this 2.35 double value into float. So that's what it is doing. So next, if you want to declare double t equal to, let's say, 2.46, then you can do it like this. Okay, so let's say you want to print. Okay, you want to print this variable that you have just declared, and what you can do is let's say L, no, let's say D. Okay, so right click and simply run this application. Now see, 1 b is the byte variable b, then you have D, which is the double variable. Like this you can declare your variable, declare a value to it, then you can print it in this manner. Okay, so println will take a string actually. Okay, string I have not explained yet. I will come to it, but for now understand this, that print will print a string. So whenever we write byte b inside this and whatever text we write inside this and d, it will be automatically converted into string. Okay, so actually that brings us to our next topic. What is string? So before we discuss string, another data type I missed is that character. Okay, so character we can declare as char a c equal to a, right? As we told previously, right, that character is the data type which will contain any alphabet or special character. Okay, so likewise what string will be is that string will be a collection of character. That is what string is. Let's say a b c d. So if we consider each character, okay, then string is simply a collection of characters. Okay, so in practical word we can say that string will contain any word or sentence. Okay, like that you can keep in your mind so that it does not confuse you. So if you want to print this, then you can write string demo, click on. So as you can see, when we print this string variable, it is printing the value which is a varchar. Okay, so we can also write it like this: coding is awesome. So if we write like this, even this will be printed easily. Okay, so this is the string demo variable. Hope you understood the basics of data types, variable and string. So the last topic of our lesson number 3 is that what is array. Oh, another thing. So you may have noticed that when I was printing the variable values, I was simply writing like sys out, and suddenly you would have noticed that it converted into system.out.println. So Eclipse lets you automatically fill these keywords using this shortcut actually. So when you write sys out, then press Ctrl plus space, at that time Eclipse will automatically fill out the suggestion. Okay, so coming to our last topic, that is what is an array. So as I said, I already created another class for this topic. So basically we need to understand what array is first. Okay, so array is nothing but a collection of a data type. That means that let's say you have a int I equals to 10. So array will be an okay, int j equals to 20. So basically what array will represent is that array will be a collection of these two variables I and j. Okay, another point is array will be a collection of same data type. It will not have different data type. The collection will have to be of same data type. That means array can be of integer collection, an array can be of byte collection or character collection, or even a string collection. Okay, so how we can declare an array? I will take an example of integer itself. Let's say you want to declare one integer array. You can write like this: new int and then 10. So what it means is this array demo variable is of type int. That means it will be a collection of integer, and new means we are telling Java that we are declaring a new array data type. Okay, and it will be of size 10. It will be of size 10. So this is how we can declare an array in Java. Okay, so now we have declared an array data type. Now how to populate it, means how to assign a value to this data type, means to this variable. Okay, so let's say if we write like this, okay, and we can write like this, 1 equals to 20. So we already established that this value, it just means that this variable array will have a size of 10. So now the index of an array starts from 0. That means from 0, if we count 10 elements, then it will go till 0 to 9. Okay, so if we want to assign any value to this array, so we need to assign element by element. That means here we are assigning element at index 0 with the value of 10. Here same thing, we are assigning the element at index 1 with the value of 20. So how we will print it? This is also very simple. Simply the same thing we need to write. Okay, 0 plus array demo 1. So when we run this, we'll get this value 10 and 20. Okay, this is as expected. Let's say you want to print the size of the array. Okay, how we can do that? If we write array demo dot length, then we run it, you get to see that it will print as 10. That means the size is of 10. If I change this to 7, let's say for example, then run it, what it will be printed? It will be printed as 7. Okay, so this is how the array works. Now array can be of two dimensional also. So here it's a one dimensional. That means it will have a single row and uh, 7 column. Okay, right now it's having 7 column. So in case of 2D array, you can imagine a matrix. That will be actually easier for you to understand how the multi-dimensional arrays are. So we'll start with a so we will start with a 2D array. Okay, so if we declare it like this, then it will represent a 2D array. So let's give it a size like 10 and 5. What this means is this array 2D will have a row of number 10 and column of 5. Okay, so if you imagine in a matrix, that means it will have a row like this. Let's say 10 rows and 5 columns. Okay, so here how we can assign the value? Can assign it like this. Okay, 0 index, that means 0th row, and 0th column, that means the element at 0 comma 0, that you can assign like 10 for example. Similarly, if we want to assign a value to the third row, okay, third row and second column, then we can assign like this. Okay, this is how two-dimensional array works. Likewise, array can be of multiple dimension. Okay, so these are the way how you can declare some array and assign values to array in Java. So there are another method where you do not have to declare the size of the array, but simply directly you can declare the values of the array. How we can do is that, let's say you declare something like this, curly braces, then you have 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, if you write like this, then okay, let's say I want to print the element at index 3. So can you guess which one it will print? So when we run this, you'll see it will print 4. Index 3, that means 0 1 2 3, 4. Okay, so the third index will be the value of 4. Okay, hope you understood this. Now we have assigned the value. We did not assign the size of the array directly, we have assigned the values. So can you tell, like, what will be the size of the array now? If I print the length of the array, then we'll get to know the size of this array demo values. Okay, yeah. So as expected, we had assigned five values in this array demo values. So when we print the length of this array, we get 5. Okay, this is as expected, and this is the two different methods that you can declare an array. Either first you declare the size of an array, or you can directly declare the values of the array. Okay, so to sum it up, in today's lesson, we understood what are the data types in Java, how we can declare a variable in Java, and what is a string and what is an array. Hope you understood, and if you have any doubt, you can comment down below, and we will make sure to reply and try to clear your doubts as much as possible. So don't forget to like and share with your friends, whoever is interested in learning Java, and thank you for attending our session.